We're here to stop this bureaucracy that's going on to where you have the city and the county folks from this state region that are going in here to make the decisions for the homeless, and they have no idea on any solutions, but it's about money. It's about them allocating funds to what they think the solutions to be, instead of asking the people that are out on the front lines that fight the fight, that have the real solutions. So in other words, what we're trying to say right now, where we're at, is if you're not at the table, then you're on the menu. And right now, that's where we're at. We're on the menu right now.
That part.
So we're trying to show what's on the menu.
Okay.
And the menu right now is those that are homeless, those that are out here that are struggling each and every day, for housing. And we're sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Oh.
Everybody has a right to live.
That's right.
And we have to continue to fight this fight to let them know that it's not about setting up triage centers and setting up encampments. It's about housing. It's about getting this land that's already been allocated for housing to put back in the direction for housing for the people, because we are the people, we are the purpose, and we hold the promise to the things that hold of the nation's Constitution.
That's right.
So we're standing here for our First Amendment right to make sure that our voices are heard.
We are at the Sheraton Grand Hotel today. The League of Cities and the county associations are having a meeting, which is inclusive to our unhoused population. The tickets are $100 to get into the door. At the last minute they changed it, said they would be screening who comes in. So we are here to protest this meeting because we don't need policies made about our unhoused without their voices.
And just to give people, listeners and viewers, what kind of decisions are these politicians and anti-social workers and non-profiteers making?
They are making the laws and ordinances that come to do sweeps, criminalization, everything you can that affects our homeless. Yesterday, one of our groups was told that if they were out there again, they would be ticketed and fined for serving food and hygiene and necessities. We're here to stop that. These broken policies need to stop.
And just also to get a clear sense, this is in Sacramento. Are these people from all over the state or just the Bay?
This is counties and cities from all over the state are meeting. We call them the elites because that's people that can afford to be in these kind of meetings. It's from all of California, and we're deeply affected by our homeless population. We probably have at least 200,000 on the streets right now. Here in Sacramento, we have 10,000 to 11,000. So
that's real. Just for people watching Poor People's Revolutionary Radio, we're standing outside this elite hotel, the Sheraton. Several $100 a night even to be here, and apparently it's $100 a night, or $100 a plate.
You can see the actual lunch they're being inside.
Yeah, just to be in here. So we know as poverty scholars, the poverty pimps and the non-profiteers continue to profit off of our poor bodies. And in fact, this is the most obvious and transparent example of that. This bougie lunch that is intentionally about us without us as poor people. So yeah, we here and we ain't leaving.
Right on.
Right on. Yes.
Well, I know you were talking to our Sacramento Homeless Union president, Crystal Sanchez, a moment ago. She covered it, but we're out here to challenge the California League of Cities and counties that they do not represent homeless people, even though they're having a homeless workshop. If they wanted $100 just to attend their homeless workshop, which means no homeless need apply. And we in the union, the whole point of the homeless union is that homeless not helpless. That the homeless are organizing themselves, whether it's Santa Cruz, Cross Camp, whether it's Stockton Boulevard here in Sacramento. They can break up these encampments, but they can't stop the organization of homeless communities and homeless unions. And so the California League of Cities, we know who they represent. They represent the developers, they represent the property interests, and they regard the homeless as no more than in the way. And so we're out here today. We're going to see about if we can see if they're interested in hearing from an actual leader of the homeless community. We'll see. But we're just at the beginning of this campaign, and we are going to see to it that the homeless are heard in the state of California. The official number is 180,000. We know that that's an egregious underestimation,
that
there
part.
are tens of thousands of more people sleeping, not just on the streets, and not just under the freeway overpasses, and not just in the encampments, but double, triple up in tiny apartments, living in their cars, their RVs. 10% of the students are sleeping in the schools. So this is a statewide crisis. 8 million people at or below the poverty line, and we believe the homeless union movement is very much a part of that fight.
They're literally unable to be housed. There's nothing less than violence. Meanwhile, they'd be doing these things called sweeps.
Poor people have love. Poor people have rights. Poor people must stand. Poor people must fight. Poor people must live. Poor people must unite. Poor people have love. Poor people have rights. Poor people must stand. Poor people must fight. Poor people must live. Poor people must unite. Poor people have love. Poor people have rights. Poor people must stand. Poor people must fight. Poor people must live. Poor people must unite. Poor people have love. Poor people have rights. Poor people must stand. Poor people must fight. Poor people must live. Poor people must unite. Poor people have love. Poor people have rights. Poor people must stand. Poor people must fight.
Good to see ya.
Poor people must live. Poor people have love. Poor people have rights. Poor people must stand. Poor people must fight. Poor people must live. Poor people must unite. Poor people have love. Poor people have rights. Poor people must stand. Poor people must fight. Poor people must live. Poor people must unite. Poor people have love. Poor people have rights. Poor people must stand. Poor people must fight. Poor people must live. Poor people must unite. Poor people have love. Poor people have rights. Poor people must stand. Poor people must fight. Poor people must live. Poor people must unite. Poor people have love. Poor people have rights. Poor people must stand.
I don't.
Poor people must fight. Poor people must live. Poor people must unite.
I'll bet they're out there.
Poor people have love. Poor people have rights. Poor people must stand. Poor people must fight. Poor people must live. Poor people must unite. Poor people have love. Poor people have rights. Poor people must stand. Poor people must unite. Poor people must live. Poor people must fight. people have rights. Poor people must stand. Poor people must fight. Poor people must live. Poor people must fight. Poor people have love. Poor people have rights. Poor people must stand. Poor people must fight. Poor people must live.
That's Casey, all right?
Poor people must unite. Poor people have love.
They're obstructing that.
Poor people have rights.
They're obstructing with that.
Poor people must stand. Poor people must fight.
That would be odd if that's
Poor
what they're
people
doing.
must stand.
That would be very odd, but
Poor
certainly,
people must unite.
you know, this is a loading zone, not a parking space. But everyone's gone from these vehicles.
Fight poverty, not the poor.
There, okay, maybe they're leaving
Fight
now.
poverty, not the poor. Fight 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 poverty, not the poor.
Fight poverty.
Fight poverty, not the poor. Fight poverty, not the poor. Fight poverty, not the poor.
So my biggest thing is what I've been trying to do is
Poor people have love. Poor people have rights.
poor people have rights.
Poor people must stand. Poor people must fight.
Poor people must fight.
Poor people must live.
Poor people must live.
Poor people must unite.
Poor people must unite.
Poor people have love.
Poor people have love.
Poor people have rights.
Poor people have rights.
Poor people must stand.
Poor people must stand.
Poor people must fight.
Poor people must fight.
Poor people must live.
Poor people must live.
Poor people must unite.
Poor people must unite.
Fight poverty. Not the poor.
Not the poor.
Fight poverty.
Fight the poor.
Not the poor.
Not the poor.
Fight poverty.
Fight the poor.
Not the poor. Poor people have rights.
Poor people have rights.
Poor people have love.
Poor people have
Let's go back to
love.
the old national unit.
Poor people must stand.
Poor people must stand.
Poor people must fight.
Poor people must fight.
Poor people must live.
Poor people must live.
Poor people must unite.
Poor people must unite.
Fight poverty. Not the poor.
Not the poor.
Fight poverty.
Not the poor.
Fight poverty.
Not the poor.
When I say fight poverty, you say not the poor. Fight poverty.
Not the poor.
Fight poverty.
Not the poor.
Fight poverty.
Not the poor.
Fight poverty.
Not the poor.
Fight poverty.
Not the poor.
Fight poverty.
Not the poor.
Fight poverty.
Not the poor.
Fight poverty.
Not the poor.
Fight poverty.
Not the poor.
Fight poverty.
Not the poor.
Fight poverty.
Not the poor.
Fight poverty.
Not the poor.
Fight poverty.
Not the poor.
Poor people have love.
Poor people have love.
Poor people have rights.
Poor people have rights.
Poor people must stand.
Poor people must stand.
Poor people must fight.
Poor people must fight.
Poor people must live.
Poor people
Poor people must unite.
Poor people must unite.
Poor people have love.
Poor people have love.
Poor people have rights.
Poor people have rights.
Good to see
Poor
you.
people must stand. Fight poverty.
Not the poor.
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 Poor people have love.
Have love.
Poor people have rights.
People have rights.
Poor people must stand.
People must stand.
Poor people must fight.
Poor people must fight.
Poor people must live.
Poor must live.
Poor people must unite.
Poor people must unite.
Poor people have love.
People have love.
Poor people have rights.
People have rights.
Poor people must stand.
People must stand.
Poor people must fight. Poor people must live.
Poor people must live.
Poor people must unite.
Poor people must unite.
Fight poverty.
Not the poor.
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 Poor people have rights.
Poor people have rights.
Poor people must stand.
Poor people must stand.
Poor people must fight.
Poor people must fight.
Poor people must live.
Poor people must live.
Poor people must unite.
Poor people must unite.
Poor people have love.
Poor people have love.
Poor people have rights.
Poor people have rights.
Poor people must stand.
Poor people must stand.
Poor people must fight.
Poor people must fight.
Poor people must live. Poor people must unite.
Poor people must unite.
Fight poverty.
Not the poor.
Fight poverty.
Not the poor.
Fight poverty.
Not the poor.
You were over at the Stockton Boulevard
I
event,
am, and
right?
actually the leader of the Stockton Boulevard campus right here.
Yeah,
Okay.
Betty.
I'm Anthony Prince. I'm with the California.
Anthony, hi, Mike Lurie from K33. Nice to meet you. Okay.
Thanks for coming out.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
you bet.
Scoot over there a little more.
Okay. And you were not invited?
So what
We
they're
were
doing
not
is-
allowed to go.
It's
Bought a ticket.
it's not an inclusive meeting regarding the people that are making policies. $100 a ticket to get in.
Yeah.
And then at the last minute, it was changed to they were going to be screening who goes in. It's not an inclusive meeting, and these policies affect these people on the street. So we don't need people who their voices need to be heard.
Okay.
Same thing with Stockton.
All right.
Didn't the Newsom also try to sign on with the appeal? So the whole state of California is also.
That's good right there. Step right over here.
Yeah, just make sure you don't block the
We have people
sidewalk.
from all over California that are here,
Okay.
like the union. He's from Salinas, Oakland. We have people that are from these different counties.
Okay, so Crystal, how do you spell your first name?
CRYSTAL,
And last.
SANCHEZ.
And your title or position?
I am the president of the Sacramento chapter of the National Homeless Youth.
Tell me why you're here today.
We are here today because the League of Cities and the county associations have been elected to have a policy workshop that does not include the voices of the impacted out here on the streets. We have people from all over California who are leaders of camps out here protesting as well. These policies directly affect these people on the street, but yet they're not heard.
So you were not invited?
We were not invited. The tickets were $100. We could pay $100, but $100 would go a lot better to serving some people on the streets.
So you're feeling that you're being sort of excluded? They're not listening to the people who are most directly affected?
Exactly.
What are the solutions for homelessness? What should they be hearing from you?
We have a list of 21 demands. which include basic things. We want them to start opening up some of these buildings. Winter's here. We have people freezing to death during the winter. We want public restrooms 24 hours because we have a huge problem. You know, everybody's complaining about the environment, people pooping on the streets. Well, when there's nowhere to go, you gotta go. You gotta go. I mean, it's the reality of things. We want the voices of them to be heard. Stockton Boulevard is the 7th month after that eviction. The anniversary was a couple days ago. These people are still all on the streets.
So there's a lot of reasons for homelessness in California. High pricing for housing is one of them. What are the long-term solutions that can make more people find safe homes?
According to our point-in-time count, which is conducted here in Sacramento, it's affordable housing all the way around. We need affordable housing. Temporarily, though, because that takes time to build, we want single occupancy shelters open, rooms, so we can place our families and single people. You cannot herd 100 people into a room and expect change.
My name is Betty.
Betty, so your last name?
Was it here?
Were you a victim of the Stockton Boulevard?
We got a gap up there.
I was put into a home and I had my other half that was with me. He was like divested about it and stuff. So I didn't feel safe, so I got kicked out of the house.
Why was that?
Because they didn't want to move him somewhere, but they want to keep me there, but he's the one who's making the threats to me, and I didn't feel safe.
So how have you been surviving on the streets since then? What was that, back in July? Or?
No, that was back in May when we got evicted. Then I went to a home until July, and I've been on the streets ever since.
Where have you been living? How are you surviving?
I'm living in a tent, and my friends that are around me.
So are you living just on street corners or underneath park benches?
We were living on the creek, on Morrison Creek. Then we got moved off of it, and now we're living on the 65th Avenue. Yeah, 65th.
And what do you do for food?
We go by day, try to hustle, go counting. Some of the supplies for food stamps, and we just make them meal together, and that's how we eat.
What do you do for shelter when it's raining or cold?
Our tents, and then we pile it together inside of a tent.
This weekend I'm going out of town.
So what would you like to see as a solution for homelessness?
A lot of us climb Stockton Boulevard and there's stuff behind my back. I wrote out a statement about what kind of rules they have to follow and what kind of things they have to get done, and they all agreed to do it, but they're not going to agree to go to a shelter that they have to be moved out at 6 o'clock in the morning and be checked in at 4 o'clock, because what they're going to do with their stuff, they're not going to have nowhere to put their stuff or anything, and what they have is what they have.
And a lot of people want to have their pets with them, right?
Yeah, a lot of them do. But lately, animal control are coming and taking the pets from us.
Thank you, Betty, for your comments. Appreciate it. Did you have some comments you wanted to make too?
Yeah, well, two things. Of course, Betty here was actually burned out in the city of Paradise, and that's how she ended up.
Oh, is that right?
That's correct.
Oh, wow.
And we have Greg here. Greg Schaefer was also lost his home in the Paradise Fire. He's president of our homeless union local.
All right. Well, let's talk to Greg.
Yeah. The anniversary of the fire.
Yeah, I know. 1 year. Exactly. And Greg, what is your last name?
My name's Greg Schaefer.
Spell that.
S-H-A-F-E.
What happened with you and your home in Paradise?
I grew up in Paradise. I'm a mental health provider there, and my folks lived there for the past 25 years or so, and they're homeless, lost in the fire, and they were displaced. They were in a trailer for several months. They ended up buying a new home in Biggs, which is an agricultural community about 45 minutes away from there.
Okay, and how about you? Were you also living in the home at the time?
I was not, no. I live in Chico, but shortly after the fire, I was renting with some friends, and our landlady ended up selling our house, so I had to move after the fire as well.
So tell me why you're here today.
Well, partly because after the fire, many of my clients and families that I worked with and people that I knew from Paradise were displaced, obviously. And I became pretty involved in the homeless advocacy movement and the homeless union based on the things that I saw that were being done to folks who'd been made homeless from the Paradise Fire, who were expected to pack up and just get over it and find a new place to live, but no housing was provided for them.
So when you said clients, are you a lawyer?
No. I'm a mental health provider. So I work with young families. I work with kids and families that have behavioral mental health problems. And a lot of those folks are impacted by homelessness.
What do you think are the solutions for homelessness?
Well, I mean, in some ways it's very simple, right? The one way you can make someone not homeless is by providing them with a home. So I think that affordable, low-income housing is part of it, but also it's a very nuanced problem, and I want homeless people to be able to have a voice where they can speak for themselves. Like, the reason we're here, right, is that there's this huge meeting being held here by state leaders and civic leaders all across the state, and yet the entrance fee is $100, which prevents a lot of folks who are actually homeless from being able to have a say and a voice in these decisions that are being made about them. So I find that to be very unjust and inefficient, and it's not going to result in effective solutions, right? I want homeless people to be able to speak for themselves.
My name is Anthony Prince.
How do you spell that?
Prince.
And your title and position with California Homeless Union?
I'm the general counsel for the California Homeless Union.
Tell me why you're here today.
Well, we're here to show the public that the California League of Cities and Counties does not speak for homeless people. That homeless people are perfectly capable of speaking for themselves, organizing themselves, and making a fight on their own behalf. We come out of a tradition of union organizing, and historically in this country, when people are in a position of common suffering and hardship, they organize for a voice and for the ability to impose their will, and that's what the homeless union is all about.
So this meeting is talking about solutions, but there's an entry fee to get in. Is that prohibitive?
It certainly is prohibitive. Charging $100 to a so-called homeless workshop. What homeless person can afford to pay $100 to come to this conference? Homeless need not apply, but it's typical of how the government approaches this issue, which is that they're going to develop policy from the top down, not on behalf of homeless and poor people, but on behalf of developers and real estate interests. And we, on the other hand, are about building a movement from the bottom up of actually poor and homeless people.
So from the bottom up, what are some of the solutions, both short-term and long-term, that can help?
Well, for one thing, we are demanding that the city of Sacramento and all cities and counties in the state of California disclose immediately all city and county owned, city and county controlled properties, vacant units, tax delinquent properties, vacant units in buildings that are either commercial, residential, or can be used to house human beings. Our demand is that the resources of the state of California, the fifth largest economy in the world, be immediately placed at for the benefit of people that built the state of California and now find themselves out of work and homeless. There's no justification for homelessness in the fifth largest economy in the world. That's what the California League of Cities needs to understand. We're not going away. We're small now. We're just getting started. But every great movement has started small and has grown. And we're convinced that the same will happen in the California Homeless Union.
Yes, sir.
Brother Kevin Harlan is supporting this campaign now.
Okay. And tell me why you are here today, Kevin.
Well, I'm here because in protest of what's happening now, the pollution of what's happening by keeping the advocates that advocate against homelessness not being a part of this meeting, and the way that they're designing it by using economics to keep us out of the process.
So there's a $100 entry fee to get in.
Yes, it is, and there shouldn't be no fee at all. And that's the problem today in our state. There's too many fees. As you look now, and land rights and property rights and profit motives that are affecting our states today with no housing, no building of housing here in the state.
So what are some of the solutions, both long-term and short-term?
Well, long-term and short-term, start to build public housing and stop selling property to private entities, and because that's what's happening in the state today with our civic leaders, our county leaders, and our state leaders. They are selling our properties to these developers, and we have nothing left for public entity and public space. So that's what's happening at the end of the day. It comes between the haves and the have-nots. At the end of the day, there's no room, for people of everyday living in economics. It's not gentrification. It's called displacement. You're displacing one economic for another economic of discourse. Poor people have love. Poor people have rights. Poor people have rights. Poor people must stand. Poor people must stand. Poor people must fight. Poor people must fight. Poor people must live. Poor people must live. Poor people must unite. Poor people must unite. Poor people have love. Poor people have rights. Poor people have rights. Poor people have rights. Poor people must live.
guys.
I see those people sitting there.
Actually, it's about homeless policy, so we need to be here.
You can't.
Homelessness policy
No, for the
workshop.
conference. Wait a minute. Crystal's in charge. So where are we going to? Is this conference here?
No, it's right there.
Oh, let's go over there then.
They're talking about it.
Look at homelessness policy workshop. That means us. That means we need to be in there.
They're talking about it.
Right? About us, without us. So we just have to invite ourselves.
On top of it.
Right? We're homeless people. There should be a homeless policy workshop.
We are part of this. Yes.
We're homeless people. Don't you think we should be in a workshop about our lives?
I think you can go out. I think you can go
Go out
out.
where? Outside?
No, I think we should be in a workshop about homelessness. I think we should be in a workshop about homelessness.
No choices without our voices. No choices.
Without our voices.
No choices.
Without our voices.
Without our voices. No choices.
Without our voices.
No choices.
Without our voices.
No choices.
Without our voices.
Fight poverty.
Not the poor.
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 Fight poverty!
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 Not the poor. Not the poor.
Fight poverty!
Not the poor.
Fight poverty!
Not the poor. Not the poor. Not the poor.
Fight poverty!
Not the poor.
Fight poverty!
Not the poor.
Poor people have rights! Poor people have love! Poor people must stand! Poor people must fight! Poor people have love!
Poor people have love.
Poor people have rights!
Poor people have rights.
Poor people must stand!
Poor people must stand.
Poor people must fight!
Poor people must fight.
Poor people have love!
Poor people have love.
Poor people have rights!
Poor people have rights.
Poor people must stand!
Poor people must stand.
Poor people must fight!
Poor people must fight.
Poor people must live!
Poor people must live.
Poor people must fight!
All right, if I could have everybody's attention for a moment. I understand this is the homeless workshop of the California League of Cities. I want to introduce Ms. Crystal Sanchez. She's the president of the Sacramento Homeless Union. You may have seen her on the news when the police department broke up the Stockton Boulevard homeless encampment. We're here because we feel that the homeless themselves should have a voice. So if we could have your attention, we'd appreciate it. And here's President of the Sacramento Homeless Union, Crystal Sanchez. Thank you. Go ahead, Crystal.
No.
Go ahead.
Why would you not want these folks here to speak? Because it's a workshop.
So if we can just, let's all show a little respect for each other.
You guys charge. You guys ask.
Sir, just hold on just a second. What I would like to do is, I'll offer you, like we do in our council meetings, you will have 3 minutes of public comment. We've allowed you to come into the room and share your view. If you would have one voice for 3 minutes, we could hear your, up to 3 minutes, we could hear your statement. And please respect the rest of us and the work we're trying to do to help solve the homelessness crisis. So please, up to 3 minutes.
Go ahead.
That's what you guys should do.
We just don't want you to solve it without
What
us.
you're doing is talking to us, period.
I understand that you are represented throughout the state of California with folks in this room that care about this issue.
The
So
ones that's on the front line.
Criminalization policies, the hyper-criminalization of folks outside.
if you're not going to show this room and the people in this room respect, we're not going to respect your voices either. So please, let's hear from your spokesperson, and then we'll
You're not
continue with
on the
our
meeting.
I would like to start by letting everybody know that we are a national homeless union. come together to fight and be the voice of these people on the street. We have the leader of the Stockton encampment, which was dispersed, standing over there. It is not okay that we have these meetings that cost $100, where people like her cannot come in and have a voice on things that affect her and the other people on the encampments. So here's some realities for you. There's no public restrooms, no trash, no housing, no wraparound services, nowhere to go. Constant sweeps every 72 hours. Criminalizations, even though federal law, Martin versus Boise, states that we cannot criminalize without adequate shelter. People are victimized, raped, assaulted, stolen, stabbed, and left traumatized, and much more that is not reported. We have people dying and disappearing on the streets due to your guys' policies. They are negatively directing, impacted by people that are already vulnerable. We have complied with your laws, your ordinances, your tickets, your fines, your officers, and your cruel and unusual punishment. We have continued to move every 72 hours, disposing of our dignity and our property. We have taken the abuse from businesses, residents, and our government structure. You have been hurting us for far too long. You have torn apart encampments to protect business interests, not the people. You need to be held accountable. Perfect example, May 1st, 2019, Stockton Boulevard. You brought zero, I'm telling you, zero realistic resources. We put people in the situation to receive these resources. Zero realistic resources. You brought in the SWAT team, the helicopters, multi-cars, tractors, dump trucks, tow trucks, and placed a $60,000 fence. And you threw us out like trash on the street. Many of us were there for 10 years. Many of us were hurt, raped, assaulted, and abused. 7 months later, the first is the 7-month anniversary of that. They are still on the streets. Your policies are causing harm to all things involved: environmental, public safety, and economics. The death is impacting everyone in California. These policies are affecting everybody: our residents, our businesses, and most importantly, these people. The problem is, the majority of people don't have the courage to talk to them. You do not have, or you have the audacity to speak, or you don't have the audacity to speak with those in the camps, or those who advocate and that are doing the job for you. Homeless has many different faucets in need of many different solutions. Your only solutions over and over have been to discriminate, stereotype, mass shelter, incarcerate, and place everyone in the same category. We are people, not money. You have counted us, you have studied us, you've gotten funding for us, with the purposes of helping us, but you haven't even listened to any of their needs. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there's anyone here, representatives from the city of Santa Cruz, California. I want to show a picture of Desiree Quintero. She was a member of the Santa Cruz Homeless Union. She was killed on October 27th of this year, just a few days ago. She was one of hundreds of people that were evicted from the Ross Camp homeless encampment with no place to go, despite false promises from the city that everyone would be provided shelter. Instead, she was exiled to the Pocono Woods. She was doing her job as a union officer, checking on the well-being of other homeless people, and a tree during the Diablo winds, a tree fell over and crushed her. We warned the city of Santa Cruz. Is anyone here from the city of Santa Cruz? Or any other city where you're breaking up encampments and forcing people, especially women, into circumstances where they're put at greater risk? This is a state-created danger. We hold the city of Santa Cruz responsible for the death of Desiree Quintero, 55 years old. She was a former firefighter. She was employed by CAL FIRE. She devoted her life to helping people and saving lives, and she was crushed to death by a tree that blew over because she'd been forced into the woods by the city of Santa Cruz. So, fair warning to everyone here, the homeless union is here, the homeless union is organizing, and we're saying that we're not going to tolerate deaths in the streets this winter. Thank you so much for letting us address this conference.
I'm from Oakland. I do need to speak for Oakland and San Francisco. Anybody here from the Bay Area? Yes, thank you. So first of all, this meeting itself is wrong. No more about us without us. We're homeless people. We should be in these meetings. But in Oakland and Berkeley, they are doing violent sweeps and people are dying. In San Francisco, they're taking people's tents, sometimes 3 to 4 in 1 week. How is that homeless policy? But that's what the mayor of those cities is okay with. There is a Caltrans sweep that happens every week in Berkeley. In Berkeley, the so-called progressive Berkeley, that is killing our people. We're asking you
started by the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in 1967. Now has been taken, now has been run by the Bishop William Barber in North Carolina and Liz Theodore Harris. I would just like for each and every one of you to remember this, because it's very important of the work that they are doing. The Poor People's Campaign is in its 52nd year of this campaign. There's over 140 million people that are in poverty across the United States. $1.2 million Native Americans, 8 million Pacific Islanders, 35 million Mexican Americans, 35 million African Americans, and 66 million white Americans. It's important, not just what you're doing here, but across this nation, that you make the right decisions and come up with the right solutions. It's about land rights and property rights that have to be given back to the public instead of these private entities. Because of the words of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., when we remain silent to the things that matter in our lives, we perish. Don't let us perish. Because we are the people, we are the purpose, and we hold the promise too. Thank you.
Excuse me, ma'am. We have made, excuse me, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. You've been given a platform here.
No more sweets!
Okay, you've been given a platform.
No more sweets!
No more sweets! No more sweets! No more sweets!
Ma'am, please respect our space.
She's here with y'all. I think she paid for her ticket.
Ma'am, please Ma'am, please step down. Please step down.
No.
We are all in this room because we're committed.
These people are being, we have disabled people, old people, we have veterans, old women, that they finally get a little cardboard box or a tarp, and then the cops come in and sweep them. This is inhumanity. Inhumanity. You are responsible. You are responsible for this.
The policy to continue to allow or honor or put in your budget.
Stop the sweeps. It's inhumane.
Okay.
We're talking about fellow human beings.
I think we've been very fair in giving you your opportunity to share your thoughts with this room. So please respect all the folks that are in this room. Thank you. So we were in the middle of a presentation about this very issue. And we will give just a moment for folks to please respect the space that we have here today. We've respected your opinion.
You've done nothing. Nothing. You have
So
millions of dollars.
We'll just take 5 minutes so that we're able to reconvene without interruption of our speaker. So we'll just hold off for about 5 minutes.
We appreciate you guys giving us time to speak.
Crystal will be outside if anyone wants to speak with the homeless union.
Sure that the meeting is about us without us.
If you want to take a picture of So he came out of the meeting and wants to meet with us.
Oh, very well. Let me get up close.
County of Mendocino.
County of Mendocino.
Nice.
One person came out to
Say he wanted to work with people?
an attempt to hear us.
Is that a county employee or
County of Mendocino Board of Supervisors.
board of supervisor? Very well.
So I think I'm gonna let Crystal and the others speak. I think we accomplished our objective here today, more than accomplished our objective. And with Kevin and Bridget and with Crystal and myself and Tiny getting up and letting them know we're here and we're here to stay.
Right.
And but what we know is that this is just a moment, and they'll go on to their business. And what is their business? Their business, we know, is to represent these developers, represent property, like Kevin said. So yelling at these guys and all that is not going to win the fight. Organizing our own ranks, organizing the ranks of the poor and homeless in this state. There's 8 million people in California living at or below the poverty level. If we organized only 1%, that would be 80,000 people in a real movement for homes, for health care, for taking care of human beings in the 5th largest economy in the United States, which is the state of California, where there's no excuse for people sleeping on a sidewalk or in a cardboard box. You know what I'm trying to say? That's the key, is to build and organize. So I think it's been a tremendous success. We came here with the intention of letting them know we're here, we're on the scene. We carried out our plan. We carried it out. They had no choice but to let Crystal speak when we made ourselves present. And I think that we go on now to the next stages of actually building up our ranks. We're going to have an organizing drive in California. Our statewide organizing council met and voted to have an organizing campaign. We're aiming at getting 500 dues-paying members of the homeless union up and down the state of California before the end of 2019. Are you guys with me on that?
Yeah.
All right. Crystal.
Just real quick, Crystal, you did have a couple folks come outside, and I wouldn't be surprised if they want to come talk to you.
Okay, all right, thank you. So these policies, the big thing that we need to get across is these policies directly affect our impacted people, for one. But we have an officer standing right there, and what we need to point out is that these broken policies affect everybody. We just, for Measure U, had a huge amount of fire department people out there fighting because they wanted the money that was granted. Okay, this affects everybody. It's public safety, it's our environment, it's everything. We need to redefine it. Also, police officers are being put in the positions of these impact, hot teams, whatever you want to call them, these resourcing teams. Police officers are not social workers. I cannot say this enough, they're not social workers. How can you have a job that criminalizes the people that you're supposed to be social workers? It doesn't work. So I'm very proud of everybody, that was amazing.
The thing is that they have money. They have their talk. I was in this meeting. They have a $500 million block grant already. The governor, $500 million. The governor just released $2.5 billion. I just heard it in this meeting. $2.5 billion. And what are they doing with it? They're using it to police and criminalize the homeless, and they could be putting people in homes.
You know, today was a declaration, kind of a declaration. I wouldn't say a declaration of war because there's already a war on us. This was a declaration of we are meeting you on the battlefront. You know what I'm trying to say? We are meeting you.
Are not working because I didn't want it and I've already been displaced out of it.
They're not doing shit with it.
So we should get those facts. We should get all the information about the California League of Cities, about this money that the governor is dispersed. We know about it, and come up with our own budget, our own response to what these guys are doing. Put them on the spot.
Yes, that's what we should do.
Right.
And that's why it's important that in the Poor People's Campaign with the moral budget, that we have to play a role in the Do More campaign on December 11th. We have to play a role in this because it's important that we get this land back. Because that's what this is a land grab.
Yes, it is.
That's what's been happening. Everything that's going to the private sector, everything that's been bought and taken from the federal government that's being sold to the private developers. Because that's what this is about. You know what I'm saying? How they utilize space. You know what I'm saying? And not give it to us. You know what I'm saying? Because they want to profit over people. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is at the end of the day. See, Dr. King was right about what he said. Land rights, property rights, computers, and profit motives. We're in that time. You know what I'm saying? And we have to speak up and say that we won't be used for that. You know what I'm saying? We come first at the end of the day. No police force, no fire department. When it comes to funding, when it comes to the necessities of people have to come first. When I first went to City Hall, and I asked 5 years ago, or maybe 6 years ago, for a 1 cent poverty sales tax. And that was just for the homeless and for the people that was out here on the street to create a safety net. Then here it is 4 years later, 5 years later, Darrell Steinberg comes up with a Measure U to where he comes up with a Measure U with a 1 cent sales, with a sales tax, and he wants to include everybody else in on the sales tax. And then he wants to put the homeless on there and put their face on there because they know that he's pointed the finger at all of the terrible things that's happening with the homeless on the streets. So that way the people will vote for it. But he threw the police department and all the other entities, the communities, and everybody else on there. You know what I'm saying? So that he can raise the issue. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day,
well, you're doing your. I get that. I get that. Right. Thank you. You're doing your job.
I'm just trying to do.
Okay, I appreciate that. Okay, our intention today is not to get arrested.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Our intention.
I don't want to arrest you.
You're just doing your job. Our intention was to make them aware that we're here and we accomplished that. So thank you for warning us.
They gave you a little bit of time to talk.
They didn't give it to us. We took it. We know that.
You got it.
That's right. All right. We only organize to get what we organize to take.
Thank you, officer. I appreciate your job. Thank you.
Are you guys able to relay that to everybody? Are you able to relay that to everybody? I don't want to make one big statement here.
Hey, everybody out here, don't re-enter the building, okay? We don't want no trespassing. We don't want nobody going to jail. We came and did what we needed to do. I just want to let everybody know that.
Right.
Point out that these folks would rather press you for trespassing than let you speak. Just keep in mind.
Does not care. He's political poverty. He has not. Ask Darrell how what has he done so far? That's one shelter that he did for $40 million. Ask him where is that $40 million? What has it done in the city of Sacramento? And where is the rest of the triage centers here in Sacramento? None of them been put up yet. None of them has not put up yet. And he's in charge. And what I'm saying is he's in charge of the state commission. So if he can't do what he can do, if he can't take care of his own city, what is he going to do for the state? See, all he's doing is raising money. But the thing is, if you're raising money, what is the money going to do if you're not putting it to the people that are impacted?
He's putting it into the yes, they are being
What is your name?
The whole table was
Okay, that's a big thing. Yes. That's a big thing that's necessary. That's needed. And I wish you guys would contact our campaign and connect with the Rick Williams, our co-chair, and Liz Steele here. Those two. Because of Poor People's Campaign, we don't have all the solutions, but we serve in the narrative of what's happening. And everybody's going around the Reverend Barber. And they need to be going to it. Yes, exactly.
And then the office changed because they're in the business. I'm not getting that. You know what I mean? I came to Sacramento to find out, since I'm responsible for homeless shelter families, a warming center at night, the way the money trickles down to counties. I'm not receiving the amount of money that it is I need to resolve the issues I have locally. So I'm here to see how do we have this kumbaya relationship where it is that it's trickling all the way down. And that even means the lady got up and said, how do you have to make these decisions without us?
That's right.
I think they've got one committee I saw mentioned that has 2 homeless consumers on that committee. Everything else is tied in. With public officials, city department heads. I'm an executive of a nonprofit 501c3. I'm not sitting in this. That's why I think solutions are going around. It's not a me. And I know that.
It ain't rocket science. I mean, there's more vacant units. There's more houses.
The guy that jumped up and said, "Are they on the agenda?" I said, "Oh, he's in the wrong room."
Exactly.
You didn't hear him?
Yeah.
I said, you guys started talking.
Oh, yeah. Well,
This small white guy jumped up and said, "Are they on the agenda?"
we are now.
And I said, "They don't have to be on the agenda." They are the agenda.
Exactly.
They are the agenda.
I like that.
All right.
You mentioned
I have a better flex city. Come out here and protest. We're tired of our impacted people's voices not being heard. Our goal was to go in and disrupt this meeting and hopefully be heard. They actually encouraged us and let us talk. So we were able to express a few needs. And when we came out, it was pretty cool because we were followed out by a couple of the county representatives that gave us business cards. It was a good deal.
Anything promising, you think? Anything promising, you think?
Yes, I think that the homeless crisis is over these people's heads, and the only way to solve the homeless crisis is with the homeless themselves, because you can't make policies about something you don't live and don't know about.
And so why are you out here today?
Why am I out here today? Well, I'm the president of the Sacramento chapter of the National Homeless Union, and we have all of our allies out here. We have different area presidents. He's the president from Salinas. We have Chico. We have Ventura standing right next to you. This is a California statewide crisis. We're going to stand together. We're going to unite, and we're going to stop these policy meetings that don't hurt these people. Statewide. Yes.
So are you guys local? Are you guys regional?
Well, no, there's people
statewide?
from Santa Cruz here. I'm from Sacramento and the Bay Area. And people live in both places. So he's there's a man that's started a union. He's actually getting members and growing. So most of the homeless people are from where they're homeless. I don't know if you know that, but a lot of times they call them transients, but statistically, 97% of homeless people live very close to where they got evicted or used to live. So obviously, there's things that the city can do, like put a moratorium on eviction that would stop the flow. Rents are too high. That's we need apartments and homes where people can live. There's buildings right now in Sacramento. They're empty and perfectly usable. There's a state building that's I think it used to be the real estate agency or something. You know the building I'm talking about?
On Art?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's a big building. It's got all the rooms, bathrooms. There's probably a kitchen on site. There is no reason why people aren't living in it. It's there. We have the need. How do we get those two things to work together? And if there's funding, there should be no problem. It should be beneficial to the city to put people inside for the winter. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm like, I want to make that happen. I know I was yelling in there, but I have been nice. I have been polite. I have sat through meetings, been bored out of my mind, did the civilized thing, and nothing changes. We still have a growing population. When they're talking about, or you know what they're talking about? I don't know about you. I spent a night in Congress. I went to Washington, D.C., and there was no hotels in the whole town. I only had a small budget anyway, so the $400 rooms were out of my budget. And I was like, what am I going to do? I just wanted to go to a shelter. I better go to a shelter. Ain't as easy as you think. And then in the morning, when I woke up and I found another homeless lady, she said, "You're lucky you didn't go to this shelter because they're full of fleas."
and scabies and stuff. But what I did was I had rented a hotel. My daughter had paid for it, and our room was right next to the laundry room, right in the back. And we had stayed there like 3 nights in a row every weekend. Yeah. And it was the time to get buzzed in. And so I said, I'm going to just try it. So I ring, to get in. He buzzes me in. I say goodnight. I go down the stairs just like I had done for 3 nights, and I slept in the laundry room.
Do what you can.
But the roaches were this big. It was quite frightening. But oh my god! I told her, I'm gonna sleep. I got to the I'm like, oh. It's raining. And at my age, I thought I'm gonna get sick. Something bad is gonna happen.
We need to create change.
And these people are doing
There's nothing difficult about this.
This is their life, and it makes you mentally ill. It makes you physically ill. It's bad for society. Yes. I was telling people that drugs, people are on either on, drugs and alcohol. They're drugs and alcohol. Like you'd be on drugs and alcohol too, if you're living in those cities. I know. That's right. And it's the medication. It's like the same as medicine. Why are some drugs legal and some drugs illegal? Why is it okay to be a drug addict if you're getting it from a doctor and your insurance is paying for it? But it's not okay to be a drug addict. But yeah.
How do you guys foresee yourselves aligning and coming together from this disparate effort to that disparate effort to have some cohesion around the message?
If that could happen, we could solve some problems. That's the problem in America is there's such disunity. And look at our politics. Yeah. It's like we're all disconnected from each other, and the groups are disconnected from themselves. Like there's people working on homelessness, people working on the environment, all these little groups. And really, in my opinion, the only one thing we should be all working on is democracy, right? Healing our democracy. If our democracy was working correctly, these people are public servants. They were elected by the people. They're supposed to actually do what the people want. But right now, most of them are only doing what is asked of them by private businesses.
So that's how we got 3 of us.
And that's technically illegal in the United States because of the Constitution. Our Constitution and the way our whole government is set up to give the people a voice. So that this shouldn't even be happening. If the people had a voice, people wouldn't be on the street. The environment wouldn't be getting hurt. You know what I mean? All the problems in our society come from a government which is not doing its job.
Creating problems and then having solutions to close the
And they don't want solutions. There's this new thing called the homeless industrial complex, where there's a lot of funding, as you heard in there. $2.5 billion is a lot of money. There's a lot of agencies out there that are trying to get that money. They call it the homeless industrial complex, where people are making money on the homeless issue, but not solving the issue, because of course that would be detrimental to their job. They want to keep themselves in business. So keeping people in the streets, keeping people poor, is actually their business. That's what they're accomplishing. And it's outrageous. And yeah, I did yell, and I will yell some more. Because this is enough. Enough is enough. I don't think yelling at people is really going to get them to change anything, but it kind of snaps them out of their, malaise, right? They're
Well, I'm just a guy, but I've been in these conversations for a long time. If there's anything I can do to help.
So you would be a person that could actually get funding.
I could probably help you guys with
point us in the right
who you're talking to.
That'd be great. That's what we need. We need to start doing this. There's a building that I have in mind. It's a state-owned building. And if we could just get a little bit of people together to say, okay, this building is sitting empty. It can house probably
Well, remember somewhere?
All the homeless probably in Sacramento. Why aren't we doing it? Can we just do that? And then you can work on your solutions, you can get the affordable housing. All this stuff is years out. We have to go on the streets and pay shelter for this one. You know what I mean? And the money is there. So, well, what's your name?
Joe.
Joe. It's so good to meet you. I'm going to give you a
God bless you.
Thank you. Maybe.
More or less, but no. Biggest thing is stopping the sweeps.
No, that they can't make policy about people without and exclude those people that make the policy. They can't do that. So
Where are you going to have it at?
yeah, so I think we made our point.
Yeah. No, they should have a table.
Have you been? They should have some.
Yeah, they should have a table.
What sweeps are you talking about? Sweeps of homeless encampments as a police officer? No.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, because I talked to the police that really stopped in Boulevard and they were victims of it. Most of the police are not, you know, this is not what you sign up for when you become a police officer, right?
It's heartbreaking.
Selena's brother is homeless.
Oh my goodness.
And yet, wasn't the chief of police brother homeless down there in Selena's?
Somewhere in Southern California, in his RV. Yeah.
And so, you know, this thing the police are not our enemy. They're being, you guys are just working. But you guys also need to think about
affordable housing.
how you're being perceived and how you're acting. We'd like to see the police start coming out and saying, you know what, we're not going to do this anymore. We don't want to do
that
this
would be
anymore.
nice. That would be nice.
Well, here's the thing. We do a lot of outreach. A lot of outreach. Every day, because my bike officers work down there. This is our area. We work in the core. We have a lot of homeless people. So this is not something new to us. So we're very familiar with people in this area because, you know, we talk to the same people every day, right? And so with this outreach, we do approach them all the time and ask.
Hey, great to meet you, buddy. All right.
So there's a lot of outreach that we do provide because we do want folks to be able to like live a healthy lifestyle. I didn't start out because I started out. People have to be receptive of that, right? If they're not, then it makes it difficult.
Well, it doesn't seem like people are
I'm
actually
gonna break
getting
up.
put in
Nice to chat with you.
It doesn't seem like people are actually getting facilities either, because I was out at the Stockton eviction, and there was nothing for them. There was no vouchers, there was no social workers there, there was no shelters to go to. They were literally just taking them from this safe place behind fences and sticking them out in the street.
I believe that there was some outreach that was done there also.
No, I was there. I was there with the people. I was there. And I was surprised that there was absolute, because a supervisor was there. He was actually in charge of everything. So we had a supervisor, his lawyer, and a homeless advocate. And still, at the end of the day, there was all the people that had been housed under tarps and stuff, you know. It was, you know, but they were housed safely behind this fenced area. At the end, they were not. They were on the other side of the fence. They had most of their stuff taken from them.
I don't know what the politics are, you know, related to that one incident because it is in the county, so I can't speak for them.
Right.
You know, it is a delicate matter, right? And ultimately, we do want people to live
inside.
Yes. Or healthy, right?
Healthy people.
And you know, the thing is that you know we have parks and stuff. Parks are meant for a specific purpose. It's meant for day use. It's not meant for people to like camp. So there are certain ordinances that are meant to be service to the entire community.
Right. So you feel like you're doing the larger community a favor by keeping homeless out of the parks and stuff?
No, I'm not saying I'm doing anybody a favor.
Not a favor, but you know, a service. This is the service you're providing when you remove homeless from the park is to the rest of the society, not the people that are in the park.
No. I don't want you to misconstrue my words.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm just, you know, the ordinances of kicking people out of their situation at night, which the police are doing. It sounded to me like the reason why you felt like it was important to do, or the reason why you were going along with it, was because the rest of the community also needs
Well,
safe.
there are laws. There are
Yeah.
laws that are
That's
passed
right.
by representatives
Right.
to represent the community, right? So that's what we're here
That's
for,
what you're
right?
there. You're a law officer. You are to uphold the law.
And so you know
so
what-
getting the laws changed is what we need to do.
So with you being here and like speaking your piece, you know, if laws need to be changed to
Right.
represent the people, then they need to be changed appropriately, right? But as of now, the way they stand, this is what it is, right? So there are mechanisms to have things change.
Yeah, well, it's good that we have a good rapport with the police because we're all citizens. We're all
Sure.
Everybody.
But let me just tell you this, and I'll be very blunt about this. When people are defecating and urinating in public and on public lands, in the park, and along the city hall building, and I've seen it myself, that's not right.
Are there enough bathrooms available?
Okay.
But check this
I
out.
understand.
When they take the bathrooms in the park and turn it into a, when they take it and turn it into an upscale restaurant, then where are they supposed to go?
Does that make, that's the question, does that still make it right?
No, it was.
If a state worker is going to go walk.
Human function, bathroom functions are not optional.
Oh, I get that.
And so if there are no bathrooms,
Open.
there are no choices. You absolutely cannot keep that in your body. It's physically impossible. So we have a
I'm a human being, so I know.
Yes,
Okay, I do
we know. Everybody has to go to the bathroom.
But at some
That's why
point,
not
The church is usually like that. No, you don't. No,
for the homeless people.
no, I understand human function.
That's true. You
What
can
I'm saying.
go
But
into a store.
any building.
You
See you
go
guys
into
later,
a
okay?
store.
Okay.
Okay, thank
All
you.
right, take care.
But homeless
All right,
people
good
aren't
job.
allowed.
I'll be here until the end. So.
Okay, all right, gotta go home and finish writing the statement
Yeah,
about
so
I'm not arguing.
Desiree.
No, I know
All right, I'll
the
see you guys.
bathroom issue is the biggest
You
bugaboo.
don't understand.
Okay, then
No,
we're
it
done.
is the biggest bugaboo.
I just wanted to have a
No, I get that.
a nice conversation.
No, I get it. The bathroom issue is the biggest
Yeah.
bugaboo with the public.
Everywhere, in every
They don't like the pee or poop, you know, the smell. I smell it. I go to the Tenderloin in San Francisco. You can't even walk down the block. It's like you're in a bathroom.
So,
Right?
so what you're saying is that we need more facilities.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Open 24 hours a day.
Yeah. I mean, that's. I mean, I
Super
understand that.
simple, right?
It's
It's
super
super simple.
And
yes, you can have a male and female guard to manage man.
I have 4 kids. I'm like,
There's no excuses. Yeah, people need bathrooms.
The other thing that we're asking
Yeah.
is like, this homeless crisis is also affecting you guys. It's put so much pressure on your job. We watch, we go to the meetings and we watch it. We see how it's affecting you guys. Like, your guys' jobs are so much harder because you're overwhelmed with all this crisis of homelessness.
That's
It's
right.
Like,
Yeah.
fire department was just fighting for the money because they're out in these encampments.
Right.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's a national crisis.
It is a crisis. And so we need to make decisions and laws in order to address it.
And that's why we're here today. This policy meeting again.
They're making good money.
Policy meeting of people, who can afford a car ticket, not people like Betty. Betty was part of the stuff. Like, these policies need to be
I would love for people to come together and come up with solutions, right?
Yeah,
that would be great.
It's all the way around. It's public health, it's public safety, it's
For people in general. Yeah. No, I'm on board.
for sure.
I'm on board.
Thanks for talking.
Absolutely, you bet. Hey, so I just wanted to get perspective, so that's why I stopped and tried to talk.
Thanks.
I'm not trying to be confrontational.
Yeah, no,
I just wanna
I'm
understand
glad.
your point
I'm
of
glad
view.
for your, candid.
We do appreciate you actually coming and trying to see what you bet. That's important too. All perspectives are important.
Yeah.
Is there like an encampment style that you would try to do discretion of, like, oh, let's just pass that one
You
over?
had the idea.
No. So the first complaint, you're just like, you guys got to go.
We just have to get these.
That's
We
what
have
we
to get
fight.
the
We fight the
supervisors
fact
to
that
get those.
winter's coming. We have 11,000 people in Sacramento here. They're on the streets.
Because they feel like they have to do their
We have
job.
Capitol Park Hotel, which is conditions have risen. They just displaced that out of Capitol Park Hotel to place 200 out of 11,000.
I think this is a bigger problem than just housing. I'll be honest. Okay.
Well, there's a lot of outlets regarding
It's a bigger issue than just housing.
It's housing, mental health. There's so many
Absolutely.
different things.
So let's address all the different facets of this issue.
And that's what we need. I mean, our goal is to bring people together to try to come up with a solution.
We can create housing all day long, but if people don't want to go in, and if people don't get treatment in order to like live actual like responsible lives, then really they get into housing, they act up, they get kicked out, and then we're back to square one.
So actually, in other cities, we don't even have the housing. That's the thing. We have people like Betty.
There has to be rules.
So yeah,
There has to be rules because other people live there.
So that's always my point of my question was, you know, where can we get to the point where we can pass people over? Because if we're really worried about behavior of pee-poo, trash, and food, then why don't we scaffold that instead of just eliminate people outright? Say, you're not doing drugs in front of me and I don't see a blanket of trash, I'll pass you over and I'll go to the next one.
Oh, like, that's it. So then they tell me, oh, you're the nice one. Let's go to the other ones.
Yeah, citizens. You know.
We're here from all over California. Like she's here from Ventura. Like,
okay.
Because this is the county and city of all of California.
Right.
This isn't just a crisis here in Sacramento. This is California. It's a hot mess.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
It's the biggest thing. I mean, the UN came to the Bay Area and did a report and declared that the Bay Area homeless situation has created such horrible conditions that it's on the list of the worst cities in the world. Like Mexico City, like Bangladesh, you know, like places like that because of the feces and the garbage and
The rats.
You know,
It's not just
the
us.
rats. I mean, it's creating such a problem. My brother-in-law dislocated his shoulder and cracked his collarbone because he was walking back from the grocery store and he tripped on somebody's tent. Like he couldn't get, you know, there's so many tents, he couldn't get through on a street. I mean, it is causing real problems.
But the solution comes from everybody having these conversations. Whether it's the police department, fire department, these people even in here in the big municipalities, these county workers, the homeless, like, this isn't going to be solved by one entity. The police can come in, criminalize the situation all they want. It doesn't matter. They'll be back out on the streets, and it's the same thing with like everybody else. These board of supervisors making these choices for these people. It's just a vicious cycle. Sure, keep going. So these conversations happen.
Absolutely, for sure. Yeah. So good luck to you folks.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Good luck to our communities. Huh?
Right.
We sure need to have this be successful, right? Yeah, absolutely. Okay. All right, you folks take care.
All right. If you want to see the full version of everything we did, just for fun, since you said you missed all the fireworks, yeah.
Yeah, see the fireworks. All right, great.
I'd like to see it too.
Yeah. Oh,
You're a city council person?
running for city council next term.
Are you? Down here?
Yeah.
Okay.
In Pacifica?
I was actually blocked from getting on the ballot because I didn't have an official address. The shelter was my address, and they said, oh, we can't prove that you live in the district.
Gotcha.
But honestly, it was because they knew I was really coming for some honesty and truth.
State Senate. My dad lived in
Oh, cool. Yeah, the outside, that's where I was at. So I was just before Chinatown with, my folks, I was more like near Mission Park in Washington Junior and Sillis High. Yeah, South Side.
So what do you want to do?
Probably very cool, very cool. Yeah, there's a lot of heart in there.
They need a
A lot of heart.
yeah, people keep pushing me. Like people keep you need to be that
I think we purport there to be more problems than there are.
There's a lot of gang problems.
Yeah, but the gang thing kind of goes with the racist shit too.
Majority, but basically,
There, apparently, the last 5 years, there's been no gang violence because at the same time of that, there was also 6 police shootings within 2 months. Yes.
he's back.
Everybody else?
There's a lot of racist overtone over there.